What is happening, Gamer Pro fans and other people who may have stumbled on this video? I'm going to show you how to install Windows 8 Windows 8 release preview. That's what it's called. Yeah. So I thought I should do a video on something current. So yeah, Windows 8 is pretty current. Well, I mean, even like pre-current because it's not even out yet. So that's cool. So if you go into a browser and just Google search for Windows 8 release preview, you can go on the Microsoft website. And there's a video there, isn't there? Yeah. So if you scroll down a bit and hit get it now. Get it now! And then you... What the... And then you see all these that you'll probably like this for you, and then you're I'm Chinese, but no, you're English. And then you're gonna download the right version. So it's 32-bit and also 64-bit. So to check, if you hit Windows or press, even if you're just like a rebel, Windows key on your keyboard, and then right-click on computer, and then hit Properties. This is still a speed tutorial. And then you'll see here, 32-bit operating system or 64-bit, and then you'll know. So yeah, for me, I download the 32-bit, but too late, hour and a half. Where is it? Actually, I downloaded both, cause I'm a rebel like that. I downloaded it twice. Now the reason I did that though, is because I downloaded it the first time and it didn't work, so I saw on some forum, just re-download it, so I was like, okay. And I re-downloaded it and it worked, so yeah. So you're going to have to test this before you want to like burn it to a disk, right? Which is how I'm installing it. I'm not sure if you can install it just like by putting it onto a USB, but I'm thinking like the safest, most kind of risk-free way of doing this, most assured to work way, is going to be to burn it to a disk and then use the disk. So that's what I did. I decided to do that. Now you're gonna need a DVD disk, because this is like, how big is it? It's 2.43 gigabytes, and a CD disk isn't gonna cover that. I've got this DVD is 4.7 gigabytes. So yeah, you're gonna need one of those. You probably find one of these lying around. There's probably a stack of them in like a cupboard or the attic, because no one uses CDs anymore. But yeah, before you burn it anyway, you're going to want to check that it works. So I've got something called, what is it called? Virtual clone drive. So I'll show you how to get that. I actually forgot to get that up. So if you, oh, you got to search for the whole thing. Don't know why I stopped. Virtual clone drive, and you go to Slicesoft, hit download again. And it'll start downloading for you. So with this program, once you've installed it, you get this little icon here. If you right-click on it and show you like Drive F. I'm not sure if it's meant to be Drive F or I've changed that. Can't remember. And then you'll set it so if you actually go to Release Preview, click on it, then click this little arrow or Open With, and then click this, so it'll mount it with the clone drive. Basically, that pretends that this disk image is actually in a CD drive that you might not even have. So it'll kind of add virtual CD drives. So here's one at the moment. That's my actual one, with Windows burnt to a disk in there, and that's a fake one. But yeah, it still works the same way. If we just right-click and say Open, we can look around, look at all these files, and yeah, exactly the same as the disk. Notice though, the disk does take a while more to load. Although my disk wasn't even spinning, so yeah. So if you just double click on here, click on Setup, you shall see this Windows 8 splash screen come up. And if that comes up, then yeah, you've done it right. But say if I go to Virtual Clone Drive here, I'm gonna close that before it starts doing stuff. Go to Clone Drive. And if I mount the other one I downloaded, there, and then go back again, you'll go away for a second, come back. If I've done it right, yeah, there it is. On this one, when I tried it, whoa, and you get this error. So if you get this, just re-download it, remount it, check if it works, then burn it to disk. You don't want to be wasting disk. I had to throw a disk away because it wasn't working. So yeah, that's my pro tip to check if stuff's going down or not. All right. So also I got an error and it wouldn't install, which was really annoying. So I burnt it to disk. I went to my disk, started it, started up the setup. Went through all this crap, the Windows screen came up, blah, 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 blah. Then it says Windows could not install, and a big loading bar on the bottom. So try installing it now. If you, try and install it now. It won't delete all your, like, personal files. So, my documents, your desktop stuff, all of that. So you'll still keep all your files, which is really handy. But it will replace the current OS that's on your computer. So I'm running Windows 7, it would replace that, and you'll just boot to Windows 8 next time you turn on your computer. So if you don't want to do that, if you just want to try, or you're anxious of kind of deleting files and stuff, that's cool. Because this is how I did mine, and this is called being able to dual boot, which means you can choose an operating system when you start up your computer. So yeah, I'll show you how to do that. So you go to Windows, right-click on computer. Oh, also, sorry, missed one thing. I got this up. If you go to free ISO burner, you can download this, and that'll tell you. That's an easy way to download to burn ISOs. So you go to E, U drive, or whatever your CD is. I know for a fact that virtual clone drive is mapped to F. D, there's nothing in, so it must be E. So you select E as your actual drive. Select the ISO. Go to your downloads. Pick out the right one. Call it something. Finalize the disk, and then burn, and you're all good to go, and it will just do that for you. So yeah, that's how you do that part. But we're gonna make a partition, and basically this includes your hard drive, and you're kind of cutting a bit off it to use for Windows 8. So if we go to start thing, right click on computers, and then press manage. And this is the traditional way of doing it. This isn't actually how I did it, but I feel like I should show this. So yeah, if you click on disk management, and this also displays things quite nicely. All right, so here we've got all of the different bits of kind of data storage that are connected to your computer. I'm gonna go ahead and even plug in I've got a little flash drive, and that'll come up. Oops. And you'll see that even that comes up, so everything that's plugged into your computer. So here we have, that's the virtual clone drive. I'm going to actually eject everything now. So there goes my E drive as I've taken out the disk. I'm going to unmount this. There goes the F drive, and I'm plug out this. There goes the K drive. So they're all mapped to a letter, you might notice. This is the C drive. This is the G drive, and it kind of gets ridiculous. But here are the ones. So ignoring that Windows 8 one. Here are the ones that were here to begin with. The system one, C drive, that wasn't actually called Windows 7, but system, C drive, and a HP recovery. Depending on what computer you have, you might not have that already there, but I did. This is HP. So, yeah, we're going to cut a bit of the C drive off, because this is the biggest one, so, makes sense. And I don't want to touch whatever these are, don't know what they are. Cut a bit off, and call that Windows 8, and I cut off 12 gigabytes off. So the traditional way is to go right click on this, right click and shrink it. But I've got a tool for that, which is a lot better. So if you go to this website, link in the description, download the home one, because that's free. And then if you open this program up, you'll get this, and you'll see all of the stuff. Obviously the Windows 8 one won't be there, but if you click on Windows 7 or your C drive one, that will definitely be mapped to C drive if you're using Windows and it hasn't already been touched. So then you've got this bar, and you can use these numbers, but you can just drag the bar, drag this around, blah 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 blah. So I'm gonna cut off a gig, so it's 170/40, and I'm gonna cut off 69. Yeah. So let me say OK. Notice there, sorry, I forgot to say, but I clicked move/resize. Then you get this one that's unallocated. And that means it's a part of your C drive that's been cut off, but it's not being used for anything, and so you need to assign it something. But before that, we need to properly cut it off, because it's not actually done yet. So you hit apply. Just kind of close all applications, blah blah blah. I'm a rebel like that, and I'm gonna. and it'll just do it or not. There you go. I was waiting for this. I was like, what? Now it will say it wants to do it, but it can't do it because the C drive is being used, and of course it is because this program is running on the C drive. So you know it's what you'd expect to happen. So then you press restart, and it will do it. Your computer will shut down, and then it will perform all the operations like kind of just before your computer starts up, then restart again. And it will go through this kind of weird gray, big, bulky looking, like kind of Windows 8 type looking thing for a couple of minutes, and then it will go back again. So yeah. Now the recommended for installing some more software, like operating system, would be to actually just move off like 20 gigabytes. Notice you can only move off free space. This is the full part, and of course you can't get rid of space that doesn't even make any sense. Like if it was full, then you can't use it for something else. So yeah, so you're gonna do that. Yeah. So I've already actually done that. So yeah, once you log back in, hang on. Oh, it's gone. That's funny. Alright, well, I'm going to perform all this stuff, cut a bit off my thing, and I will go back to where you will be. Okay, friends. That was a little bit weird. Yeah, I'm back. My computer started back up. It's done the whole petitioning thing. Yeah, and you get this, all this stuff comes up. But, yeah, that's fine. You don't have to touch it. So now we've got to do the second part of it. So if you right-click on computer still, manage again. So we go back to that older disk partitioning thing. Now, you can probably use that mini tool thing, but, I haven't figured out how to do it, so just, thought I'd do it like this. You go back to, oh my god, and we go back to disk management, and you'll see it's unallocated now, so you've cut a bit off, but it's not doing anything. So then you've got to right click on it, new simple volume, next, you can assign it to a letter if you just, really wanted to do that. I think, yeah, some of them are already gone. H drive, then call it. Now, yeah, ideally, bro, what's going down here? Okay, ideally you'll want to call it Windows 8 because that's what you're gonna install on it. So yeah, you don't have to touch anything else. That's fine. I'm gonna call it Windows 8. Actually, no, I'm just gonna call mine like test because I've already got a Windows 8 one. So yeah, boom! I knew that was gonna come up already. Yeah. Nah, my hard drive can only have like 2 partitions on it, so I don't know if that's different for anyone else, but yeah. So provided you don't already have a partition, you'll be fine. So yeah, I can just remerge that back with Windows 7, but I'm going to do that afterwards. So now you've got your Windows 8 partition, just like me. You're going to want to take your disk of Windows 8. I'm going to get my 32-bit. Stick that inside of my computer. Then go to computer. As you'd expect, it's pretty simple, and then you just install it. But make sure, this is the crucialist, the really crucial part, is that at the start you'll put in a bunch of languages like English US, and then your keyboard's going to be like English UK, and then like English UK for the time, stuff like that. So it's kind of like standard setup stuff, and then you press next like a couple of times, and then it will ask you like big 2 boxes. Right, one on the top, one on the bottom, and it's gonna say custom install, or like express or recommended, something like that, So I definitely noticed the second one. It's the second one, and it has more writing in it. And it says custom install. You click that one, and then it will come up with a bunch of different hard drive partitions, and you're gonna select the Windows 8 one we've just made. Otherwise, like if you just install it manually, you can still do that. Onto the Windows 7 one, that's cool, but it will delete Windows 7. You can keep your personal files still and stuff like that. But it will delete Windows 7, so I think dual boot is the best way to do it. So yeah, you put it onto the Windows 8 one, install it. It'll probably restart your computer like twice, something like that. I don't know. It's kind of annoying. So yeah, it's gonna do all of that stuff. And then when you start your computer up, it will give you like 5 seconds to choose what OS you want to boot into. either Windows 8 or Windows 7. I wasn't even paying attention because it was taking so long, so I was just off doing something else. So yeah, and I come back and like that's when I'm like, what? And then it just disappears. I was like, oh, and so it booted into Windows 8, but that's cool because I needed to see anyway. So set up all that stuff. It's good. Then you turn off Windows 8 if you can figure out how to. That's a little bit of a challenge. It seriously is. It's really kind of confusing. Yeah, just go Google it. So yeah, once you turn it off, your computer will give you the choice every time now on what OS you want to boot into. So you get like 30 seconds by default after the first time to choose Windows 8 or Windows 7, and it'll come up in a cool little Windows 8 interface, which is kind of cool. And then you can pick either, and you can set one to be default. So like in some settings, how long it takes to choose by the default one. You know how long it gives you to pick an OS. And which is the default, so it'll, like, if you just leave it, it'll automatically boot into which one. And that's it, and that's how you dual boot Windows 8 and Windows 7. I mean, I think that's it. Oh, also, hopefully Ben's going to give you a rundown of the interface and stuff. I know, so I've told you how to set it up, so he's kind of like part 2. I've told you how to set it up. He's going to tell you how to use it because it's definitely new. It's kind of, you can tell it kind of takes a lot of things from Windows 7, so that's a good thing. But then a lot of it is like really confusing, and he's had it installed longer than me. I mean, I don't even know if I'm really going to use it, but yeah. And that is it. Enjoy. Bye.